This fight goes on for 45 minutes? What? Like, how are wizards so powerful? Generic control in the deck goes. We're here back with another nostalgic video. Today we're doing Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which is the third and final Lord of the Rings movie, I believe, for the final Wednesday of the, I guess, Lord of the Rings month. He did all of the Hobbit movies in one video, which I believe The Hobbit was just one book. I believe Lord of the Rings was actually 3 books, and The Hobbit was just one book that they made 3 movies out of it. But let's go ahead and jump on into it.
Check us out at Wiz Gaming Classic April 4th through
next
6th
week, I guess,
in
will
Milwaukee,
be the Hobbit movies.
And check us out at
Also, shout out to the patrons. This channel's not even monetized. Shout out to the patrons, because I couldn't do this for balls, not for them. And actually, every single one of these Nostalgia Critic Lord of the Rings videos have been copywritten by, I guess, the copyright holders for Lord of the Rings. Not Nostalgia Critic. I've never had issues with Nostalgia Critic and copyright, ever.
The Lord of the Rings trilogy has come to an end. I'm glad
Well, there's
to be here
The Hobbit.
at the end of all things.
How do you pick up the threads of an old trilogy?
Bat.
How do you
Credit
act
card?
when in your heart you begin to understand there's no going back?
Hey, what the hell? Didn't the narration start with me?
Yeah, but there's so much going on, people won't remember who started it.
Well, I know who's ending it. Me. Piss off.
But that's the thing, Critic. These are the endings.
What do you mean, these?
Lord of the
These?
Rings had a million endings.
What do you mean it had a million
we
endings?
Should have a million endings.
Yeah, everybody
I
must
didn't know
the
that.
outcome of every person that's ever
Also,
had
apparently
screen
I'm the
time
only
in
person on
these
planet that
It
didn't know about the
occurred to
broken
me,
toe
I
thing.
never had a scene where I
Apparently,
moved
but a dude,
in
like,
slow-mo in
kicked the
forest,
helmet or whatever,
like
broke
an
his toe.
angelic screensaver.
I never knew that.
Realized I didn't file my taxes. So
Oh.
many questions. Does my goldfish count as a dependent?
No, it does not.
Knowledge that we hadn't gotten married yet.
The chart says this is the most cost-effective way to work it into a review.
I wonder why they put me in these endings if I wasn't even in the original reviews.
Enough!
Oh.
Everybody knows this movie's endings go on way too long.
Yet somehow it didn't ruin the movie.
Don't really
Everyone
remember too
says
much
the
about watching
ending
Lord of
is
the Rings.
most important.
I
Yet
really
this
just like
film
The
is
Hobbit
still
more.
regarded as a classic.
Nominated for almost as many Oscars as Amelia Perez.
Oh?
God, that feels so wrong.
Because it is wrong.
So wrong.
Penis to vagina.
I
What?
guess that does make you realize what impact this movie had on people, even with an ending that's far from perfect.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, most endings aren't perfect, you know?
Return of the
Like,
King became
usually
the-
whenever there's a ending, people still hate it.
There we go.
Like,
Return of the King became
some people
the
don't like
film everybody
Attack on Titan's
wanted to
finale.
see.
I
The
think it's
cast and
amazing.
crew We're building up. This was the best of all of them, and at the time, it was hard for people to believe. Two Towers won so many over on so many different levels, it didn't seem possible to top. But as you probably guessed, this not only met the hype, but it surpassed it. When fans would say Lord of the Rings is unfilmable, this is the portion they're usually thinking of. Giant ghost armies, giant spiders, giant elephants.
It's fine.
Even as far as special effects had come.
Wait, that was all in
it
this
was to be
movie?
done on the same scale as the books without eventually looking like Joshua and the Promised Land. But
What?
not only did we get effects that for over 20 years old still look pretty damn amazing.
No, they look better than most
One of the most
effects
expensive
today.
Trilogies of all time actually followed through on still giving us a heartfelt and emotional conclusion. Even if there were about 20 of them. Clocking in at almost 3.5 hours, the longest in the series, that was already pretty long. People constantly mock its length.
Well, they kinda had to.
The
They weren't
endings,
making a
yet
fourth
still
movie.
praise it as one of cinema's most impressive achievements. So, what is it about this conclusion that won everybody over, even when it didn't win everybody over? Well, let's take a closer look. The rest of you continue to end.
But yeah, no,
Man
every single one of these
to
videos has
woman,
been
or
copyrighted,
woman
which
to
is
man.
kind of crazy.
Malcolm,
Usually
don't
new
give
nostalgia
in.
videos don't really have
So
copyright issues.
cringy.
Don't worry, this review will give you your fix.
Nice. Let's take a look at The Return of the King.
So, if you get
So we go from the most
bombarded
epic
with
openings
ads
of all
in
time
this
to a
video,
tiny world,
I have no control over
which
it.
is also the title for one of the producer's biographies, as we get a flashback to Smeagol and Deagle finding the One Ring while fishing.
Oh, isn't that Gollum?
It's nice to see Circus showing his real face in one of these movies, though I don't know what to think of him going in and out of the Gollum voice.
Yeah, the fact that
I guess
Gollum was a
assuming sound
real
like that because
person
he's been
on
around
film
for
is
hundreds of years,
crazy.
but no, he's always sounded like a squeaky balloon with asthma. He kills Deagle for the ring, and while the transformation over the years is wonderfully done, it is weird it's not a flashback or a dream Gollum is having. Like Gandalf falling into
How
Towers,
old is
yes, is a
Gollum?
flashback, but it's a dream
I know he
the
said, like,
character
hundreds of
is
years.
having. It's still part of the narrative, even if very loosely.
But how?
This just
I
comes
guess
out of
elves live
nowhere
for
and then
hundreds of
cuts
years.
back to the story. If you were
So,
watching
like,
these back
it's
to back
possible.
like one long film, it wouldn't really make sense. It'd be like if the movie was interrupted to suddenly show us how Legolas figured out how to skate shield. Neat, but could tie into the storytelling.
He's
a
an
little
elf.
better.
That's all you need to know.
As Sam and Frodo continue their journey, Aragorn and his team approach the now destroyed Isengard.
The salted pork.
The tree people.
Is particularly good. Salted pork.
And this is the film where Gimli's handled the best.
Oh, okay.
On that note, don't let him and Treebeard talk. Might sound kind of weird.
There, Saruman must remain.
Let's just have his head and be done with it.
No, he's no power anymore.
I mean, what's he really done?
Doesn't he
when you
fall
think
out of the
about
tower?
it? Again, I've gone on and on about how cutting Saruman from the film was a huge mistake. I mean, what? Everybody and their pumpkins gets a conclusion, yet one of your main villains isn't even allowed in the flick? You're 10 minutes
He wasn't
People
in it
aren't
at
gonna get
all?
Restless yet.
Okay.
Kiss my bark.
Pippin discovers a device Saruman has been using to talk to Sauron called the Palantir, and they return to Rohan to hopefully fix the backwards chimneys.
What?
I just want to look at it.
Pippin wants to see the shiny Palantir again.
I don't know if you should do that.
In the extended edition, they show they smoked barrels of weed beforehand. That's not very surprising.
What?
Fortunately, Sauron
Barrels?
is on hold waiting.
Saruman, when did you turn into a mini Eric idol?
Pippin!
That looks like it hurts. Maybe you shouldn't
Stop
play
trying
with
to
things
make
you don't
raindrops
understand.
a thing. It'll never be a thing.
Oh, yeah, like, okay.
Pippin says he saw a vision of a burning white tree, which Gandalf knows is a sign Gondor is about to be attacked. He says Rohan should help, but Theoden is hesitant.
Tell me, why should we ride to the aid of those who did not
God,
come
he
to
reminds
ours?
me of,
Hey, don't do too much of the political talk. Or we'll
Is it
become
Lord
Game of
Tiber
Thrones, and I don't like
in
what
Game
they
of
could
Thrones?
do with the brother and sister duo over there. Gandalf
Speaking
takes
of Game
Pippin
of
to
Thrones.
Gondor to the city of Minas Tirith because Sauron now thinks he might have the ring. Meanwhile, the virgin Arwen is off to the Grey Havens when a vision shows her that if she stays, she'll give birth to Jesus. I mean,
what?
Yeah, what other interpretation am I supposed to take from this imagery? Hey, stick it out! Your kid could become Christ in a series that already has a Christ.
But Gandalf's supposed to be Jesus?
Nothing is said.
Except I exclusively do trilogies. She decides to stay behind as Gandalf and Pippin make
seen
it to Mount Wedding Cake.
the first couple
Steward King
Transformers movies.
Denethor, played by John Noble, has just discovered the death of his son, Boromir.
Oh. That's Sean Bean, right?
Tell me why my son is dead.
Certainly, he did it. Pippin feels guilt about Boromir dying for him, so he pledges his allegiance to the king. Something Merry does for Theoden, the extended cut, which is another scene I feel should have been left in, like it shows them both stepping up.
Word has reached my ears of this Aragorn, and I tell you now, I will not bow to this ranger from the north.
While Denethor is acted well, there needed to be a bit more humanity to him. Like,
Well,
I
they
get
cut
he's an
out
asshole,
some
but the book
scenes.
showed he's also human. Like, I love the scene of him smiling while Pippin
Like with him
pledges his allegiance,
loving.
getting some of the
his-
words
he's
wrong.
Sean Bean's
He can
dad,
be
right?
pissed off
I
and
believe
say,
he
no,
is.
you're doing it wrong. What's even the point of this? But it shows a more sympathetic side. Most of the time, though, he is the other way. He's always grumbling or screaming. Even the way he eats is douchey. I'm shocked they didn't show he had his own Palantir with Sauron manipulating him into his madness. Similar to how Wormtongue manipulated Theoden.
I have seen more than you know. For all your subtleties, you have not wisdom.
Everyone says he's supposed to be a Shakespearean tragedy, but if you don't see any decency from him, I don't see what's supposed to be tragic about him.
It's so quiet.
It's the deep breath before the plunge.
As they're told about the impending armies getting closer
Dude,
to Gondor.
giant elephants?
Oh no, this is how
More-
Jackson dresses every time he directs. Sam and Frodo get to meet as Morgo, protected by a statue of that weird thing from Spawn.
What? Actually, just said the Spawn that battle with
Ooh, a
Kirby.
Skybeam. Nobody recreate that for the next 10 years. The most powerful
I've actually
of the
seen
nine
most of those
riders, but
movies,
which king
actually.
leads his army, which despite
I think
sensing
most
the
of.
ring in the Shire when it's so close, somehow that just turns off when it's at his front door. And I know I already made a Weinstein joke, but this is totally him, right? If he was Sloth from Goonies.
Good lord. Orcs.
That's what
God, I miss
Weinstein
doing
would say
Warhammer
just walking
videos.
through LA.
Jeez.
Legions.
What of the wizard?
I will break him. In another scene we'll weirdly cut out.
Hey, at least you got a death sequence in the original cut.
Like many moments in this trilogy, a scene that wasn't a big deal in the book suddenly becomes one of the coolest scenes in the movie. As Gondor
I had that
lights
ready
the
to go.
beacon for aid.
Like, imagine that being your job. You just gotta go live on top of the mountain. Probably take shifts for a couple
All
of
the
days
Oscar
at a time.
nominations this film got, best cinematography was not one of them.
Huh?
Because, you know, blurry Maguire and horse asses is a lot more epic.
Bruh. It's New Zealand. Come on now.
And Rohan will answer.
With a resounding no.
No.
Light the beacon of what have you done for us lately? Light the beacon of I came to your kids' birthday parties. Light the beacon of you got them a Furby as a present. That is so 1999. Yeah, maybe they should have done carrier pigeons.
Maybe. Or ravens, like Game of Thrones.
His army are overpowered by orcs, but thankfully Gandalf not from the scene where he arrives at the city. Yeah, he just randomly brings Pippin to fight Nazgul with him all the time. Saves the day.
Normal.
Meanwhile, Gollum tricks Frodo into thinking Sam ate the last of the bread, and he's secretly trying to take the ring. Yeah, it's a little forced, but it does lead to some good acting.
Gollum's evil. Imagine that.
Poisoned you against me.
Go home.
The only thing I don't understand is you could have just had Sam show up later.
We're watching it
like
now?
He's not going to let Frodo down, even when he tells him to leave. But instead, they show later he finds the bread that Gollum threw out, like that's what inspired him to go back. What's the point? What bear surprise if we didn't have that scene?
Yeah, like he knew.
Just like,
anyway.
I didn't eat it.
Yeah.
I do not think we should so lightly abandon the outer defenses. I will not yield the river in Pelennor unfought.
Things aren't much better in Minas Tirith as Denethor sends Faramir on a suicide mission to take back what the orcs have taken.
Faramir, do not throw away your life so rashly.
At least take
I like how
with you.
people just like, nobody stands in front of Gandalf.
Will turn to madness.
Well, you could always bring your staff. That seemed to scare him away. No, I'm just
Like, how are wizards so powerful?
You guys do the real work.
Like, how do they originate?
Well enough for my own people, but we have no songs for great halls and evil times.
Our songs are mainly drunken slurs about how our piss misses the toilet. Again, during a time when people thought Two Towers was saying it was pro the Iraq War, and this movie goes big time out of its way to make it clear that it's not pro-war and more pro-self-defense.
I mean, it was called Two Towers in
like
2002.
Time.
Apparently, there was a petition to change the name. People told me. But the book was named that, and Tolkien wrote those forever ago. So is Tolkien or is Tolkien?
A very threatening path.
It is the road to the Dimhold. None who venture there ever return. That mountain is evil.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Perfect place to camp in front of.
Yeah.
Eowyn and Merry, though, are both upset that they're not allowed to fight.
You should not encourage him.
Why should Merry be left behind? He has as much cause to go to war as you. Why can he not fight for those he loves?
No, I guess you're right. Could be worse. It could be a chick. But it looks like a stranger approaches them.
I come on behalf of one whom I love.
We've had this talk. I like ladies.
Shouldn't he be like running Hydra or something?
So yeah, this gets weird. Nobody really knows what this random connection between Arwen and the ring is. It looks like she's sick and somehow destroying the ring will save her, I guess?
Arwen's life
is that
tied to the fate of the ring.
Now, you could make the
but they throw it in the lava.
To her staying behind will eventually lead to her death, like it'll lead to everybody's death if the ring isn't destroyed. But if so, why isn't she there giving the sword? Why do they keep making it look like she's not well and she's on her deathbed? For a character that surprisingly did not feel shoehorned in before, she definitely does with this one. With that said, I love it when Elrond shows Aragorn's sword isn't a limp dick anymore and he seems to crazily get off on it.
That's a nice sword.
The power of this sword can summon to him an army more deadly than any that walks this earth.
That's a ghost army.
I'm so hard.
Dude, elves are so
the Army
cool.
of the Dead to join their battle, but not
I
before he
love
brushes
elves.
off these
Just like
girls.
the fact that they are so old that they've mastered so many crafts.
Give you what you seek.
It's not you, it's really you. Her father isn't much better.
What other duty would you have me do, my lord?
I would have you smile again.
Come on, smile more. You're so pretty when you smile.
Ew.
Okay, I know what he's really trying to say, and it is noble. It's just unfortunate wording. At least he doesn't end with,
well, see you later.
Eowyn manages to take matters into her own hands, though.
Oh, she's going to the war.
Yes, my lord. Oh, you're such an idiot.
Yeah, now they're both getting killed.
Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli go into the haunted house, where we get a pretty inventive ghost effect.
If I have Legolas with me, I'm going without any fear.
Made by those who are dead.
You can usually see through ghosts in movies, but seeing all the way to their gum lines? That's pretty unique.
I summon you to fulfill your oath.
That line was broken. It has been remade.
The minute my foot connected with your ass.
The
Check
fact
out me
that,
playing
okay.
Arkham Knight every Friday on
Did they not have a
TV.
sponsorship for this?
Content 5 days a week. Hope to see you there. Also, everybody says they never get notified about our latest video, so be sure to
Yeah,
subscribe and hit the notification
I have
bell
people
to
that are
get
notified
all
and still don't get notifications.
Denethor
If you
panics
become a
when he sees
patron, you get it sent to you
the sun has
directly.
fallen, but basically all of Mordor is at his door.
Yuck. Okay, Gandalf. They're just listening to Gandalf. Also, shout out to Horse.
Flee, who was right the first time, Flee.
Oh, well, I hate it when that happens. I hate it when a dragon runs into my trebuchet.
Begins, as even though it goes on for about 45 minutes, it is never boring. It has a good variety of attacks.
This fight goes on for
enemies,
45
and
minutes?
situations that keep building upon each other, and at the heart of it is people we really want to see win the day.
Yo, Gandalf's kind of crazy.
He really did that. Ian McKellen's stunt double really did all those moves.
Stunt double?
Frodo, meanwhile, is having his own troubles as Gollum has led him to the lair of Shelob, a giant spider.
No, it's just it. Where's
I
Pennywise?
should point out a lot of the buzz around Shelob wasn't that high because of the trailer we saw. You see,
Why?
for a while, this was all we saw of her. From that perspective, she looks like a Zelda minion. Nothing really that threatening. But luckily, the effects team put just as much effort into these effects as they did with the other effects, as I'm not afraid of
That's
spiders.
rather
but
terrifying.
I am definitely afraid of this scene. I am
Giant
not
spider.
joking when I say the audience reaction every time I saw this was, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Frodo finally puts together Gollum betrayed him as, big surprise, he tries to take the
Yeah,
ring.
Gollum, not great. Gollum
Into
is
the
bad.
Pit of vagueness from Superman 2.
He'll be back, don't
Does
worry.
end up getting him though, just as Sam returns to fight her off.
Let him go, you filth.
I can't believe I had the weirdest boner for you and James and the Giant Peach.
What? What is James and the Giant Peach?
Tell me if you've heard this in these films. Somebody's thought to be dead but isn't. Now don't freak out, Elijah Wood actually does sleep with his eyes open.
No, he doesn't.
This was your environment, wouldn't you? But some orcs pick Frodo up, clarifying he's only stunned.
The scum will be awake in a couple of hours.
Then he'll wish he'd never been born.
Well, I'm the only one who's supposed to make him think that. The battle in Gondor isn't going much better.
Nope. Those are interesting shields. That's a big orc. I'm running. That's crazy. What is their plan? They have to have some kind of strategy for taking that on. Okay, that seems like it's gonna damage your sword.
Am I the only one, by the way, who wanted to see this happen?
Yeah, that too.
Asshole.
Might weaken the spears, and it might damage the sword.
And I think it's scientifically proven that if some part of you doesn't go hard while watching this, you're clinically dead.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Even if upon
I wonder how many people were actually there and how many were like.
It's a little distracting. How did I never notice
CGI
that before?
did.
Bring wood and oil.
Meanwhile, Denethor goes crazy and tries to burn both him and Faramir, who is still alive.
Set a fire in our flesh.
Are you
That's
sure
crazy.
we get to burn our boss alive? Seems too good to
Yeah,
be
I don't. Are we? Do we have to do this?
Fire the ones who do and give a raise to the ones that don't. Gandalf stops him as Pippin saves Faramir. Again, good redemption, seeing how Boromir saved him. But Gandalf's like, I am done with this other guy.
Oh. And
again, this movie has a talent of taking that looks pretty funny to some lead as the most
Thormir
awesome
is the
thing
younger
I've ever
brother.
seen.
That.
Speaking of which, the Oliphants arrive.
The what?
Really the most imaginative name Tolkien could come up with? And they end up being hands down the best part of the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Giant war elements, or elephants. Sorry, it's
As soon as these
3:44 in the
I
morning.
thought to myself, are we really so lucky to live in a time where we get to see this? Giant Hortons in war paint squashing an army like little green soldiers. This dude knows he's in the best scene in the movie.
They give me Mad Max vibes.
I love this guy. He's like,
Fury
you
Road
brought
vibes.
a horse to a 10-story elephant fight.
Well,
A moment of silence for my favorite throwaway character.
literally thrown away. What was his name in the
Gandalf and
credits?
Pippin either.
Didn't think it would end this way.
End? No, the journey doesn't end here.
They'll torture us, burn us, cut off anything that won't kill us, but still result in a huge amount of pain. What's your point? My point is, I'm afraid, Pippin.
I mean, at least you have Gandalf, who has plot armor and knows how it
Count
goes.
the applause moments audiences gave right on cue, right at the point they're supposed to. There's Eowyn beheading the Witch King's ride, protecting her father.
Which is nuts.
Okay, I'll say it. That's what Sauron's show looked like. There's the perfectly timed arrival of Aragorn hopping out of the orc ships, pulling off the same trick Gandalf did from Two Towers, almost forgetting it was
with
even
the
in
army
movie.
of ghosts. That run on water, by the way.
There's Eowyn's great comeback when the Witch King says no man can defeat him.
I am no man.
You see? Everything, that's how it's
Terminator,
done.
Black Christmas, Mulan, Captain Marvel. Haven't seen any of them. I think I saw Black Christmas kill count, though.
Which is so goddamn silly,
Dude,
but it
this
guides
scene.
you through its goofy reasoning just enough where you're able to go, screw it, that's just badass.
And then he rides the trunk, dude.
Even a lame Gimli line sounds cool after all that.
Dude, it's
To
Legolas.
say goodbye to her father, though, who in the book had a bit more tragedy as he didn't know it was Eowyn who saved him, but I do like this callback to the previous film.
Wait, in the book he didn't know?
Grima, you do care.
I'm going to save you.
You already did.
Aw.
Tell your sister you were right. Yeah, who isn't gonna think back to that line? Aragorn releases the ghost as he gave his word he would. He could have originally made the deal to save Middle-earth and not just Gondor.
Yeah,
well,
maybe that would have been a harder
He's waited for
sell.
Frodo, maybe a little too easily. Okay, the orcs and Uruk-hai really don't like each other,
Also,
I guess.
what is the downside of the ghost fighting with
Sam's
them?
hesitance to hand the ring over is a great way to emphasize again, really nobody is free from its corruption. It's a brief moment, but it's so effective because it's with this character.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. You can't go walking through Mordor and not by your skin.
Okay, movie, now you're trying to make people like me tell jokes.
Yeah.
Just one last push
Dude,
at
the
the gates
Sam
of
and
Mordor to
Frodo.
allow Frodo
Just...
one last chance to destroy the ring.
It's like they were kind of trying.
The Sauron, not just because this thing looks really awesome, but because they give the impression to them that Frodo is dead.
Know that he suffered greatly at the
Dude, the
hands of
voice.
his host.
Which gives this line an incredibly different meaning.
For Frodo.
In the original cut, it's like, yeah, we know, that's why we're here. But in the extended version, they think they've lost, so they're doing one last charge in Frodo's memory. It changes a lot. But you know, if an elf and a dwarf can learn to get along...
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
You're nowhere near.
That's... But,
Sam tries to
dude,
get
it's
Frodo's strength
Legolas.
to carry
Everyone
on,
should
he
be friends with
continues to
Legolas.
fade.
It's also Orlando Bloom.
Shire, Mr. Frodo. The orchards will be in blossom. And they'll be sowing the summer barley in the lower fields.
And you'll be in your summer dress.
No veil between me and the wheel of fire. Naked in the dark.
No need to bring up last Tuesday.
Frodo
Frodo
does
does
gonna
end
come
up
back.
making it to the fires of Mount Doom. However, the power of the ring finally consumes him.
The ring is mine.
To ask you, Sam, will you marry... Oh!
That's not...
Gollum attacks and bites Frodo's finger off.
Which is
As
crazy.
they fight, they both get tossed over. There is something funny for as much as people were won over by Gollum, his exit
People
is
were
like...
won over by Gollum?
And he's basically Photoshop erased from the movie. No seeing what his kids look like in the future.
I'm glad. That probably hurts missing a
With
finger.
more fingers.
Yeah.
Sam saves Frodo, the ring is destroyed, Sauron goes boom, the war is over, but our two leads are left behind.
In a volcano.
See the shine.
Which releases toxic gas, I'm pretty sure.
Dancing. If ever I was to marry someone, it would have been her.
Frodo's like, really?
Really? Her?
Really?
Huh.
Really? And okay, this is where the onslaught of endings start, and as a rule, I think you're allowed one fake out. When this fade to black happened, some
Oh, doesn't it
people
like
actually
kind of show
started
what
applauding,
everyone's ending
like,
was?
That might be it. But then we fade back and see the eagle save them. Okay, that's alright. But then we get the moment that, let's face it, has been memed to death at this point. Gandalf? So I died. Because as far as I know, you're still dead.
Oh, he not know Gandalf
dead.
came back?
Wonderful. We were all a disappointment. What the hell were we thinking? What
I don't know
did
if they
the
should be
ring
jumping
into
around like that.
Mordor? We had eagles right there.
Dude, the Legolas strip.
And yeah, Gandalf's laugh in slow-mo is basically the devil's laugh, right?
Ian McKellen. But...
We're given, let's be honest, a curtain call for most of these characters as we get another fake out black.
And another one.
People start applauding, but the film kept going.
Yep.
Seeing Aragorn get crowned king, these two become an item off screen, and reunite
Okay.
with Arwen.
Okay. And now go have the
Beautiful.
Jesus baby, I
This
guess.
is still your horrific future, but beautiful.
God.
I will say, though, this scene is so good, I'm surprised it wasn't in the book.
You bow to no one.
That's crazy.
As your new rulers, we order all your shins to be chopped at the knees. We're gonna be height communists.
No.
We get yet another fake out where audiences started applauding as we cut
and more.
But it turns out that was just leading us to the Shire, where we see how the hobbits live out the rest of their days.
Well, until the Hobbit comes out. Or no, the Hobbit.
Frodo is still like, really?
The Hobbit was.
Rosie got
Was the Hobbit first?
How do you pick up the threads of it?
Yeah, it was. The Hobbit was first.
How do you go on?
I don't know. You're doing a pretty good job right now. Frodo finds the wound from the knife is still with him, and even after finishing his book,
The Lord of the Rings.
That's the name of the movie.
That's
Go with the elves and Bilbo.
Pitch meeting. I react to a couple of those.
Leave. Last pages are for you, Sam.
And
Why do you
so
talk
is
so
this
slowly?
awkward as hell smile. A smile
Elijah
that
would.
says it's not a cult. It's not a cult. We get yet another fake out audiences accidentally applaud at.
Yep. Do people really applaud at the end of movies?
And finally, the story ends with Sam and his family.
Oh.
I'm back.
Aren't there like actual places where they have like the Shire built that you can go and like live in a Hobbit home or like rent it for a weekend or something?
Especially for wrapping up 3 very long movies. It's just the way they're paced together that doesn't work. I think that's why it bothered so many people, but it was nowhere near ruining the movie for anyone. Because,
I mean, you got the
Return of the
endings.
King is still easily the best one.
Yeah, the fight, a 45-minute fight?
Of course there's
That's
issues,
nuts.
like with
Massive
any of them.
fight
Like, I
with
would
great
have enjoyed
effects.
if Aragorn had a few more kingly things to do to build up his role. And sure, there's little tidbits in the extended edition that should have been left in. But this movie is amazing.
Dude, an extended version on a movie over
Fantastic
3.5
way to end an
hours long.
epic trilogy. It opened the doors for more movies to be shot back to back, yet, as far as I know, the world of Tolkien is the only mainstream universe to do 3 movies at the same time.
Huh.
It's an amazing gamble with amazing talent.
Does
and
they
thankfully
also
led
do that in The Hobbit or no?
Amazing achievement.
Let's find out next week.
And that's it. That's the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
And there's
Really?
one more.
It's over?
No, well, there's The Hobbit. the Gandalf laugh. Oh, Malcolm? Oh. Oh, hi. Jim, okay. No, Chart Guys. Well, I mean, it's actually Rob, but...
Wait, we forgot to review The Hobbit.
Oh, we
yeah.
can't end the month without talking about...
Hey,
Was-
where'd he go?
Was The Hobbit
Hey,
1 movie
where'd
or
the movie go?
3? Wait, did I get that wrong? I might have
Good
got...
for you.
well. Was The Hobbit 3 movies?
Oh, that's what's back here.
3 books that turned into a movie?
Don't do it!
But the trilogy is too good, we can't have this destroy it!
Wait, they don't like The Hobbit?
Actually, I got nothing.
Think of the suffering. People love to see you suffer.
Wait.
For suffering. For
People don't like that movie?
For cringe!
Why do people not like it? The Battle of the 5 Armies?
All right.
Well, I mean, you kind of could see that one coming.
Salted pork.
You could kind of see it coming. But, yeah, I forget what it was. Was it like...
This month for
Lord of the
Cameo
Rings
for
was
Charity,
like
we're doing the Living
3
Well
books and
Cancer
they got
Resource Center.
3 movies?
I have a personal connection with this
And
one
then
because my cousin
The
is a
Hobbit was
cancer
like
survivor.
3 books that turned into 1
Contributes a
movie? Or
lot of
was
her
it
well-being to
1
this
book that turned into 3
organization.
movies?
Their focus
I don't
is
know.
to help cancer patients.
There was some
and
kind of
caregivers learn the
inverse.
vital
I can't
skills
even
that
think right now.
enable
It's
them
4
to gain
a.m.
Control, reduce isolation, and enhance their quality of life. They've helped so many wonderful people like my cousin,
Also,
and you can play a big
Melissa,
part in
keep
helping
going.
even more. So if you want a cameo of me saying happy birthday or good luck or whatever,
Hopefully
click on
the
link below
cancer
and be giving to a great cause.
loses.
If you're like, screw you, your cameos suck. Well,
Cameos are
consider
great.
looking at
I've
this
gotten 2 of
wonderful
them.
organization.
Would highly recommend.
I can vouch they've helped very special people in their time of need, and your kindness and encouragement can fuel their kindness and encouragement. Check
Getting
it
a trophy for beating cancer is kind of crazy. Like, do you get to keep that? Do you just get to keep that in your home as a reminder of what you did? That'd be kind of cool. That would be rather cool. But this was The Return of the King. But yeah, we have the Hobbit movies, plural. So yes, I guess there was 3 of them. which I'm not sure what the time release was between the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. I enjoyed the Hobbit movies more than the Lord of the Rings, but that was also, God, how old was I at the time? It was like, I wanted to say it was like 2016, so I was like, what, I was either about to turn 19 or just turned 19 when I watched the Lord of the Rings movies. So, I was completely, like, not used to any of the fantasy realm kind of things. Like, I had never seen Game of Thrones or anything, like, anything kind of even close to the Lord of the Rings, because most of you know me by now and know how cultured I am. But shout out to the patrons, because they get all the videos day early, and I could not do this if it was not for them. $3 a month get you all my reaction videos a day early, and I read all the comments whether you're Patreon or whether you're subscribed to it. But I hope you're subscribed, especially on the alternate channel, where we're trying to build this channel up. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it made your day a tiny little better. I look forward to reading your comments, but until next video, take care, and key to music.